Welcome to Research Corner. Boy oh boy, did I not expect this particular Research Corner to go this way. Generally, when I'm doing these reviews of studies and clinical data, I'm doing it in support of a treatment option so that you know that there are other options for care beyond surgery or medications, and that there are clinically relevant results to look at. But with today's particular topic, not a lot of great research. So we're talking about kinesiotaping, everyone's favorite voodoo magical elastic tape. And I personally use kinesiotape on patients sometimes. And just like everybody else, I thought that this was a very good clinical usage of time and effort and money. And the results aren't really there. So let's talk about it. First off, let's talk about what kinesiology taping is used for commonly in practice. Pain, joint range of motion, muscle activation, balance or dynamic balance, and agility, which are kind of included together, but they are separated out in the research, so we will do that also. So first off, is there any research that actually supports the claim that kinesiology tape helps with pain? And honestly, not really. There are a couple of different studies for low back pain and for shoulder pain and shoulder dysfunction, and there's very mixed results. When you decide to compare kinesiology taping against other modalities like rehab exercises early in care, or chiropractic adjustments, or dry needling, kinesiology taping heavily underperforms. So it is not a substitute for physical therapy exercises, chiropractic adjustments or manipulations, or for dry needling. It is not a replacement at all. In fact, when it's used on its own just for the sake of pain, it does not do much at all for helping you out. Now, it can be used in conjunction with those other therapy options, and it does pretty well, but you kind of have to ask yourself, does it improve the results of care? And the research does not show that it improves your results to have taping done for the sake of pain. But we'll talk about other things that you might want to tape for that does have a little bit of information on. Let's talk about dynamic balance, because this one's an interesting one. You could name several different circumstances where balance would be affected. You can look at post-stroke victims. You can look at people who have Parkinson's, Alzheimer's or dementia commonly also have balance issues, or just an aging population. Dynamic balance can be a very important thing for general health markers. So does kinesiotaping help with this? And the results are very mixed across different studies. There is a possible increase in your dynamic balance for 48 hours to 72 hours after taping. The studies did not go any further than that, and we need more research to look at longer time domains than that. So there might be a slight increase in dynamic balance at the beginning, but there is also studies looking at agility, which is similar to dynamic balance, but a little bit more in the sport side. Your agility does not improve having kinesiotaping on versus off. So it calls into question whether that dynamic balance result is actually even that good. The proposed mechanism of working is improvement in what's called proprioception, or body awareness in space. And the idea is that having that tactile response of that tape helps improve your brain's awareness of what your body is doing in space. Like I said, the results are mixed. Maybe it helps, maybe it doesn't. And it definitely doesn't help with agility. So again, do you really need to tape for balance reasons or agility reasons? I would say no. All right, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of positive research for kinesiotaping, or a reason why you'd actually want to get it done. And we're going to separate these out into two different functions. So ankle range of motion, there's also some shoulder research that we can look at with this, but we're looking at joint range of motion. And then the other side of the equation is initial taping after injury. So with joint range of motion, there is an improvement in your stability to whatever joint that you're taping. However, this can be a double-edged sword because while you might be achieving some sort of joint stability using tape, you are actually decreasing the muscular activation to that corresponding joint. So they actually looked at this specifically, muscle activation, and what they noticed was if the tape was stabilizing the joint for you, the muscles no longer had to work as hard to stabilize. And so your body would not return to its pre-injury state if you only taped. So even though taping helped improve ability to walk after significant ankle sprains, for example, they were looking at soccer players with severe damage to their ankles, and they had reduction in pain and improvement on walking with the tape. They can't just tape. They also need to rehabilitate those muscles that control that joint to prevent future injury. So with taping, you cannot just tape for pain or for injury or for function for that matter. You have to go through the process of rehabilitating that tissue, utilizing either therapeutic exercises, chiropractic adjustments, manipulations, dry needling, or a combination of all three. Tape is not a substitute. It is something that can be used in conjunction and with, honestly, mixed and not great results. So is it worth it? Probably not to pay for it, but it might help with stabilizing areas during intense competition. So there's not a whole lot of usage for it beyond that group of people. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Research Corner. Surprising results from the kinesiotaping research. Not really all that useful, so definitely don't rely on it. You need to figure out solutions to whatever problems you're having.